In this video, we'll be going over the residence of Philip the Chicken Man Testa and Salvatore Salvi Testa. For those who don't know, Philip Charles Testa was the underboss of the Philadelphia crime family during the Angelo Bruno era. Angelo Bruno was the reigning godfather from 1958 till 1980. On March 21st, 1980, the godfather of Philadelphia, Angelo Bruno, will be gunned down in front of his home, ending his 22-year reign as the supreme leader of the criminal underworld. Many suspect that his consigliere, Antonio "Tony Bananas" Capernegro, would be the gunman, and if he wasn't, he was the one who definitely put the hit out on his boss. Purpose of Antonio Bananas Capernegro was to become the boss himself, thinking if he got the support from the Genovese, Frank Frunzi Thierry, that he would be the godfather of Philadelphia. It was all over a power struggle, and then Capernegro thought he would get the rings. However, that did not work in his favor. Instead, Capernegro will be stabbed, beaten, tortured by the Genovese crime family soldiers and be left in the trunk of a car. Meanwhile, Angelo Bruno's natural successor, Philip Testa, will become the new godfather of the city of Philadelphia. He was appointed by the bosses of the five families, known as the Commission, which is held by Frank Frunzi Thierry, Anthony Fat Tony Salerno, and Vincent the Chin Gigante. Testa would make Nicodemo, Lil Nicky Scarfo, his consigliere, and he will reign as the new boss of the city of Philadelphia. One of the key factors of Testa's reign was that he would take care of all the suspects that were involved in Angelo Bruno's death. Within the year, many people were taken out of the picture, such as Antonio Bananas Capernegro for starters, Frank Sindone, Johnny Keys Simone, who was Angelo Bruno's cousin. However, he sought another power struggle that would ultimately get him killed by Sammy the Bull Gravano, and the Trigger Man, Louis Melito. There will be many other victims that will fall into the hands of the crime family as a result of taking out of Angelo Bruno without the permission of the Commission. Any boss or any crime family member that is ever killed without the sanction of the Commission will be put to death, and that's exactly what took place. Meanwhile, while Testa was still the reigning godfather of his era, many also were aware that he had children. He had a daughter named Maria, who was not involved in the crime family whatsoever. She had her own legitimate business. And he had a son, Salvi Testa, which many people looked as the real mafia prince, as opposed to the title that Philip Leonetti had named in his book, since he was the son of the reigning godfather, Philip Testa. Salvi Testa will also rise in the ranks in the Philadelphia crime family as well. As opposed to attending Temple University, he will want to be just like his father. He knew the street life. He was born in South Philadelphia, growing up in 9th and Catherine, and moved to many different locations along with his father. However, at the address of 2117 Porter Street will be a life-changing experience for not just Salvi Testa, but his father. However, just like Angelo Bruno, Testa's assassins will be plotting on his murder. Rocco Marinucci will be one of those assailants. He worked as Peter Casella's chauffeur and bodyguard within the Philadelphia crime family, and he was recruited into the conspiracy to whack Philip Testa. On March 15, 1981, Philip Testa's life would change forever. He left his car double parked in the middle of the street in front of his house. Across the street from the Testa's double parked car was a black Volkswagen van. Inside the van sat Rocco Marinucci. As Testa's foot hit the front porch, Marinucci pushed the switch on a remote-controlled detonator. Testa's reign as a mob boss ended in the blast that followed. Most likely he didn't feel a thing. The explosion happened in an instant. As Testa reached for his front doorknob, Marinucci pushed a button and blew the chicken man into oblivion. Reverberations from the blast registered for miles. A bomb packed with nails and explosive erupted from under the porch, where had been a hidden rocking homes and store within a 12-block area. Lights began to flicker on and up and down the streets as neighbors rushed to find out what happened. For many, their first thought was there had been an explosion at the oil refinery tank from the farm nearby southwest Philadelphia. Testa was killed less than a year of Angelo Bruno. In fact, it was almost close to the 1-year anniversary. The city of Philadelphia will lose 2 Godfathers in less than a year, and it will create so much friction within the family itself that it's becoming more chaotic, and therefore there's no stable relationship amongst the parties. Meanwhile, in South Philadelphia, Salvi Testa, along with his sister Maria, had mourned the loss of their father. As you can see, this is one of the only photos that we have of Maria Testa as a result of the tragedy of losing her father. She and her brother had to arrange Testa's funeral and wake. They've already had lost their mother to cancer, and now they have to bury their father within the next year. Meanwhile, they also had to get their house repaired. As you can see, it was blown to bits in the year of 1981. However, it will be reconstructed still during the early 1980s, and it still stands today. So, for those who are not familiar with this region of South Philadelphia, we would take you to their original home. And the reason how we're certain this was the original house of Philip Testa and Salvatore Testa is because if you look at the mugshot from Philip Testa's print, you can see that his address was listed there, which was very common since it's the precursor of the internet. He specifically lived on 10th and 12th Carpenter Street. He was listed for his crime as a common gambler. He was 43 years old at the time, stood 5'8", weighed 183 pounds, had brown eyes, brown hair, and was built well, stocked. And as we could put the car, we'll show you up more closer. As you can see, the Philip C. Testa, the C will stand for Charles, as we have based on his record. And now, since we have shown you the resident from the mugshot, we will show you the park and the region so you can get the vibe of the whole South Philadelphia nature. And from our stabilizer, here is the footage of the original home of Philip Testa and his son Salvatore Testa. Don't forget that also before both of these men tragically lost their lives, Philip Testa was married to Althea, or simply Althea Testa. She would later lose her life to cancer before Testa lost his life in 1981. The only surviving member of the Testa family is Salvi Testa's sister Maria, which you may see from some of our photos that we have listed here. And after many years, since it's been since the 1980s, 40 years later, this is what the house currently looks like in real time in the year of 2024. Of course, since this is private property, we cannot show you what's in the inside. However, based on the photos on Realtor, this is what you may see if you was to enter the property. Thank you so much for your viewing. And as we keep on going over more homes and recommendations, please let us know what you think in the comments below. This is Infinitely Productions. Stay tuned for more.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our content. Feel free to give your feedback and suggestions on what we should do next in the comments. This is Infinitely Productions. We love ya.